Alright, so here we are in InDesign. I've gone ahead and I've opened up the program, and this will be the first box that pops up for you. This box here will allow us to do create a new document, or go to open and open up any files that we need to for the project we're working on. But we need to change some things first. The default for Adobe InDesign is a unit measure called picas. Picas is used in the graphic arts industry and in advertising for the layout of the page. Um, it's not that hard to work with, but we're going to change everything to inches right now because that's what you're familiar with. So what we need to do is go to Edit, and we need to click on the box that says Preferences down at the bottom. Once you get there, you'll see that there is a tab for units and increments. If you go ahead and click onto that, this will pop up, and underneath the ruler units, you can change it where it says horizontal. You can make it inches, and you can make the vertical also inches. And some other things you can change when you're in here that will help you with your workflow and other things like that is down in spelling. We want to go ahead and we want to click on Enable Dynamic Spelling. By clicking on this, what it's going to do is it kind of turn the program into what Word is, where it will go ahead and put a red squiggly line underneath any misspelled words. So what you'd have to do is enable that, and then when you're typing, if something's spelled wrong, you'll right-click onto it, and the program will give you some alternative spelling options. It's an okay spell checker. I still think that Word has a better function when doing this, so we still suggest copying your text, paste it into Word, let it run a spell checker, copy it back out of Word, and paste it into InDesign if you want the best results. But we've got those things changed. We go ahead and click OK. Now those preferences have been saved for this time. This is something you're going to have to do every time. There's no way to make that the default, so you just got to keep that in the back of your mind whenever you're creating your document. You need to go ahead and change that so that it's in units, so it's in the units of inches. Once you got that done, you can go ahead and click on Create New Document. When creating a new document, this screen will pop up here. Our intent is always for print in here, unless we say different. You can tell it how many pages you want. We're just going to leave it at 1 for right now. We do want to turn off facing pages, though. That's something that we'll get into later as the year progresses. Down here, we've also got some different paper sizes that we can choose. We may have you change this every once in a while, but for the most part, we're going to start off with a letter size paper. Your width and your height here. You can see if I change my orientation, my width and my height will change. For portrait, you're going to be taller than you are wider, and if it's landscape, you're going to be wider than you are taller. For this document, we're going to go ahead and just leave it as a portrait. Number of columns, this would be something we'll change if we're going to be doing a newsletter, a brochure, something along those lines where the text will be laid out in columns. Down below here, we have margins. Margins are a guideline that goes around the outside of the page that tells us where we want to keep our text inside of. If we put it outside of there, it has the potential of being cut off by the printer when it goes to print. So we will be adjusting the margins depending on what document we're doing and what our end goal is. But for now, we're going to leave it as a ½ inch margin all the way around. Once everything looks okay, we're going to go ahead and click OK. Here's our new document window. This is our workspace, so we've got some different things going on here. You can see our toolbar is over here on the left. Across the top, we have our control panel. Above that, we got our control menu bar. Over here, this is called our workplace switcher. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we're always in typography. That gives us these panels over here on the right. And then we've got our toolbox over here. Our toolbox right now is a single line. We want to go ahead and make that a double line. So there you go. Now you've got your icons. You have 2 columns. And if we hover over top of the icon, it will tell us what the name of the tool is. You're going to want to become familiar with the name of the tools, as we will be referring to the tool by its name throughout the duration of the class. And then across the bottom here, you've also got this little green light. If that ever turns red, you've got an error with your document, and you need to take a look and figure out what that error is and how you're going to fix it. If you double click on it, see it'll bring up this box here. It's called pre-flight. It'll tell you where the error is, and you can go ahead and fix it from there. The first thing you always want to do when making a new document is saving it. So what you would do is go File, Save, and then find the appropriate folder for it. Give it an appropriate name. Untitled is not the correct name for a document. If you label something as untitled and I see it, you'll get points taken off on the overall project. You need to save everything with the proper unit name. It's very, very important. So once you've gone ahead and saved it, then you can start, exploring and playing with the different tools, and that'll be a different lesson.